So today I'm actually going on my first ever kind of trail run. So I kind of thought it would be nice to kind of talk a little bit about why I want to go from road to trail running and some of the benefits of trail running, and also maybe some disadvantages of like running off-road. So I thought it would be a good day and the weather's nice to kind of go and do that today. Just started running and there's a bit of a problem. I decided to take my poles with me today to kind of try it out and maybe give it a go, like to run with it and see what happens. But as I tried to tighten it, this came off from the Harrier vest. I don't know, it's probably fixable. I think maybe if I undo the clip I can loop the kind of cord back through, but right now I haven't got anything with me, so I'm going to chop my poles back off at my car and then just run without them. So yeah, let's turn around. So I just thought I'll quickly give it a go to see if I can actually fix it. So basically you just kind of open this little bit and then you feed the cord back through. Don't know if you'll be able to see, but yeah, so that's it. I kind of fixed it for now, but I'll sort it out properly when I'm back home. Okay, so let's try again. So I dropped off the poles in the car, and like I say, I just quickly had a go at fixing the cord and it kind of seems to work, so I'll just sort that out later. The reason I wanted to try out kind of the poles today is because I've not really ran with it on kind of attaching it to the vest, so I kind of wanted to see how that is and if that feels comfortable. I'm kind of a bit skeptical about it because I feel like it's just going to bounce around, so I feel like today was going to be kind of a bit of an experiment to see how it feels when I actually go on a run with them. So it's a bit of a shame that I kind of didn't work out right at the start of my run, but hey ho. Trail running or off-road running is a lot easier on your joints and knees. Some of you might know I've been talking about kind of knee problems in the past, and that my knees have been playing up a little bit when I go for a run. So being off-road and on softer grounds is actually going to help going to help with kind of yeah, easy on your joints and things like that, and just hopefully help a little bit in general. Oh, this is scary. You can probably tell that I'm definitely very new to this. Oh, it is very scary kind of running downhill and there are loads of tree roots. I'm just very scared of slipping or falling. At least it's not wet. The ground's not wet, so that really helps. I'm not sure I'm wearing kind of the right footwear. These don't really have a lot of grip, I don't think, so I'm wearing the Asics Nova Blast 3 TR. I don't think they're kind of designed for hardcore off-road running, but like I say, it's not wet and it's not slippy, so hopefully that goes well. And with any sort of running, I always get a runny nose, whatever kind of running I do, in what sort of weather, temperatures, so I need to have a little break to blow my nose. The other benefit of trail running is that you ignore your pace, which is something I kind of can't help but keep kind of looking at my watch to see how fast I'm running when I do road runs. But with trail, because you go up and down a lot, avoiding trees and roots, and yeah, just watching where you're going, and generally probably walk up a lot of hills, so you generally are a bit slower than if you were to run on the road, which makes it yeah, interesting to slow down, not look at my watch too much, beat myself up too much when I'm going slow. I do really enjoy road running, and it's still something that I'll do obviously for hopefully a long time to come, and I do just like the simplicity of leaving the house, going out and just going for a run, whereas here, places like this, I feel like it takes longer to kind of plan or find, and usually I'll have to drive to get to places like this, which is not a huge problem, but I like just being able to head out the door and go for a run. But having said that, running on the road all the time does get a little bit boring and repetitive, especially when most of the times I don't listen to anything, so I just run and let my mind kind of just flow and the thoughts just come and go, and it does get a little bit repetitive. So going on trails just mixes it up a bit, and you get kind of really nice views, nice scenery, sometimes you see animals, so yeah, that's just something that kind of another benefit of trail running compared to road running. Another reason I really want to try out trail running is because I'm really inspired by ultra runners, those who run 50k, 100k kind of ultra marathons. I'm just very inspired, and I would hopefully be able to do something like that in the future, but you've got to start somewhere. So I thought going on little trail runs like this, experimenting and kind of see how it feels and just give it a go and see what happens. So that's why I kind of wanted to give this a try, and so far it's been okay. So moving on to some disadvantages of trail running, all the things that I find that's negative. Other people might not agree. The first one is I find it very scary running on my own in the middle of nowhere and kind of in the woods, and it's quiet and I'm by myself. I do find that a bit scary, so that's something that I kind of have to overcome. I don't think I could run in places like this in the dark by myself. So yeah, one thing that kind of stops me from trail running is just being a bit scared. The other negative thing for me is that I am absolutely terrified of spiders, so running through places like this is very scary. I mean, I don't generally see that many, but you definitely come across kind of cobwebs, and sometimes you stop and have a look around and you can see kind of cobwebs and spiders hanging from trees. That's very scary for me. The other disadvantage would be that running on uneven grounds, you're more likely to take a tumble or kind of fall over and things like that, or you might hit something and trip over kind of a tree or a root. So things like that is probably more likely to happen than if you were to run on the road, but that's part of the challenge. Just have to watch where you're going, where you're stepping, and kind of look ahead rather than just in front of you. And the other thing is, in the UK we get a lot of rain, so it can get very muddy and slippy, and usually the ground doesn't have long enough to kind of dry out for it to not be muddy and slippery, so that could be a disadvantage. But we've had amazing weather here in the last few weeks, very dry, very sunny, very hot, so it's not a problem today, but kind of for the rest of the year. So generally it's quite wet and cold and just a bit more dangerous than if you were to run on the road or run on dry grounds like it is now. So now is a perfect example where it's getting a little bit steep uphill, so it's good to walk, which is not something I'm that used to when I do road running. So, but you get to enjoy the views while you're walking, which is quite nice. You can see quite far kind of where I am, so it's kind of nice to do that for a little bit. Let's just run up this last bit of hill. It's good training anyway. Let's do it. It's quite warm. It's actually a lot cooler like today compared to the last kind of few weeks, but it's still very warm. Look at the view. The other disadvantage is that if you do enough trail running, do it for long enough, you'll inevitably get to the point where you would run on somewhere that's very wet, very muddy, and your shoes will just be covered in wet mud. Luckily I've not experienced that yet, but I'm sure that will come at some point on my trail running journey. So I need to bear in mind that my shoes are going to be very dirty at some point. Another negative point that I kind of had noted down that I wanted to mention was that I thought I would really struggle with running at a slower pace, but actually, having done this little first trail run, I've not actually looked at my watch, I've not looked at my pace, I've not actually thought about how fast or slow I'm running. So actually the disadvantage / negative point that I thought would be an issue for me already isn't an issue, and I've actually been able to stop and enjoy the view and walk up hills, and when it's very steep going downhill I kind of slow down and walk because I really don't want to fall over on my first trail run. This one's quite steep downhill right now, but yeah, slow pace is not actually an issue. I said it was a cooler day today, but when the sun's out it's actually still very, very warm. It's getting a little bit overgrown. Like here, it is a path, but it's a bit overgrown, and I'm scared of spiders and creepy crawly, so I'm gonna turn around and go back the way I came, which is hopefully more of a path. I'm just gonna go up here and turn left somewhere, and hopefully it'll be less overgrown. I know you probably think I'm such a wuss, but oh, I can't help it. So this one looks a bit better, but it's quite steep, so I'm going to have to walk up it. That's okay. Oh, this is all part of the fun, walking uphill. I ended up doing a 7k loop. I kind of didn't really have a distance in mind. I just wanted to give it a go and see how far I could do. Yeah, so I ended up doing 7k. I feel like I'm a lot less tired than if I were to do a 7k road run. So I feel like, yeah, I'm less exhausted doing that distance compared to doing a kind of road run for the same distance. But there are definitely certain areas and muscles that I can feel a bit more after that run. And I can certainly feel kind of my ankles, joints, and then my knees kind of moving in different directions to stabilize my body, I guess, and just using a lot of different muscles to kind of balance and not fall over. But it's been really interesting and I really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely do it again. And one of the reasons that I kind of wanted to do training on trail, because I'm doing the Mendips 15k trail run, which is coming up in a couple of months, so I just need to train. So that's kind of why I went out today and do that. I have to say the trainers I was wearing, which were the Asics Nova Blast 3 TR, they are meant to be kind of for trail, but probably more road to trail, so they're not for kind of really difficult terrain. Today was a dry day, it wasn't wet, it wasn't muddy or anything, but I could feel myself slipping on kind of hills and bits that are a little bit steep and uneven. Yeah, just with those shoes I could feel myself slipping a little bit, so probably not ideal. And if at some point it's going to be wet and muddy, I don't think those shoes are going to be really good. But it's good to kind of figure things out early on, and that's kind of why we go out and train, is just to see what works and what doesn't. That little bit with the Harrier vest when I first started running, I managed to sort that bit out. It's actually really easy to fix. I think I just pulled on the cord a little bit too hard when I was trying to tighten the poles behind me, because I started running and felt like it was a bit loose and it was bouncing around a little bit, so I kind of tried to tighten it while I was running, and then the cord just came undone. But it's really easy to fix, so that's not a problem at all. But yeah, I really enjoyed the trail run. Hopefully you enjoyed my first trail run. I am hoping to make more videos on kind of my journey to trail running, and also some longer runs and hopefully some more challenging runs as well in the future. I'm really excited to kind of do more running, and not just road running, but kind of on different terrains and different distances as well. So those kind of are my kind of goals and plans coming up, so hopefully you will follow me along. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, and please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.